Hello and welcome to another video in where I show you one neat little trick you might want to use when you play live with the Boss HM-2 chainsaw sound. So first of all, let me show you this really basic setup. It's just a driven amp and a Boss HM-2, set everything to max, gain, well, we could gain set to max for you to all be satisfied. And this is the sound we get. Very brutal, isn't it? And this sound works really well when playing solo, but it can be a bit unarticulated, especially in a band or live context or with single note riffs. So well, we can of course compensate by turning down the gain, but this really changes the sound. So we could also decrease the bass, but this, I think, it makes it even more unarticulated. So now what can we do to retain this specific sound we really want to have, but still be able to hear what we actually play in a live context? Well, I've already made a video about this. We could use a pedal that has a blend control, for example the Decibelix Angry Sweet. And there we can blend in the clean signal. There are a couple of other pedals that also have a blend control. The one I use for live, the Lone Wolf Audio Left Hand Breath, as well as the Deluxe, it has a blend control as well. Or for instance, the Electric Roots Contagion. And there are way more other options with blend control on the market. However, you would have to buy another pedal. And maybe you don't want to buy another pedal because for some reason the best sound that you get, or the pedal that's your most favorite pedal out there, doesn't have a blend control. For instance, a lot of guys actually prefer the KMA Audio Machine's Wurm to be the best chainsaw pedal, and it sadly doesn't come with a blend control. Or the AIB Customs Death, it also doesn't come with a blend control. Or maybe you're a cheapo, you don't have much money, and you went with the TC Electronics iMaster, which doesn't have a blend control. So, what can we do here? Well, we add a blend control. For instance, this Mosquito Blender trail. This is basically a switchable FX loop, and you can put the HM-2 pedal in the loop and set the amount of dry signal and wet signal. Those pedals also come in a one-knob solution. And you can, well, the trails doesn't really matter for our purposes. You can even switch the phase, which is really nice, but you don't have to have a phase switch. And then you can dial in the exact amount of HM-2 you want to have. So let's try this, and I think we can use the Wurm. It's really not that difficult to set up, just connect it as a standard effects pedal, and from the send you go in the input of your HM-2 pedal, and those cables are way too long, by the way, but I don't care. And from the return you go to the output. So, well, you should use angled cables, but let's go with this. So now we have our basic sound still that we dialed in previously. And this doesn't change when I activate the worm because it's in the loop and the loop itself isn't activated. So let's activate the loop and set the dry amount to 0. So we just have the effect sound. Now we dial in a nice chainsaw sound that we really like. And now we can dial in the amount of clean sniggle we want to have with the dry control. And you also can go a bit extremer on your HM-2 pedal because, well, we can put in more dry signal, can't we? So with the phase switched to minus, we can add a lot more filth to our sound. And well, really just a few HM2 pedals have their own phase switch. I know actually just 3, I think. The Contagion that I showed you earlier, as well as the Lichtlärm Breathe Die and the Cleartone Grindstein. But the Grindstein has not a real HM2 channel, it's basically just the high peak, it's missing the lows. So therefore, an EQ pedal with a phase switch might be a nice option if you're after this sound. So again, I'm aware of the fact that I already did a blend control video, but this time I thought would be cool to add a blend function to pedals that don't have a blend function. However, using an actual specific blend pedal is totally up to you. You can use a HM2 pedal that has a blend control. I showed you one. You can always ask different builders to add a blend control to their pedals. Tony Pepas, for example, is doing this lots of times, and I can imagine there are other builders that do this as well. However, when you're really in love with your HM2 sound and you just want to add a bit more clarity without changing the sound at all or this drastic, a blend control would actually be quite useful. And funny side story here, we at Nightbearer, we actually used blend pedals before switching to HM2 pedals with actual blend controls. I used this very pedal with my Boss HM2, it's a Taiwan model I used, and Chris used his one. He had the one knob blender with his TC Electronics iMaster. And well, now we don't need it, but we used it and we use it in a live context and it worked wonderfully. So today's question, do you use a blend pedal with your chainsaw pedal? Or do you have a chainsaw pedal with an added blend control? If so, do you use it? How do you set it up? Do you like the tone? Do you don't like the tone? Well, you should like the tone, otherwise you could change it. It was stupid. Well, whatever you want to tell me, just write it down in the comment section. And as always, thank you for watching, don't forget to subscribe, may the force be with you and have a nice day.